Hey, this is Megan with Focus Like a Mother,
And Amy with Creative Catapult Coaching.
and this is the Control Alt Think podcast, Conversations with Neurodivergent Minds.
And somehow we are on the topic of, hey, are we going to work from different spaces? I know you're already working elsewhere, and I'm about to head out and spend a week, part vacation, part working in another town. And so things change.
Yes, and for me, working from different spots, even just in our house, since I have a home office, um, I'll work in my office and I'll take a lot of my calls in the office, but I like to be in different spaces to do different work. But yeah, it just kind of depends because I tend to like to spread everything out and have lots of room and everything. So working from different spots, sometimes I can, sometimes I just need to be in my space.
So yeah, I think we're both having some thoughts about what does make a good work environment for us and what makes it work and why is it nice to be different places and why do we sometimes want it to be the same? I know that I just need the novelty a lot of times, but I've gotten so used to background noise not happening at home that as soon as I go anywhere else, I am totally distractible by even normal levels of noise. We're not even talking coffee shop, but just quiet co-working space can get me super distracted because there are people doing things like
Mm,
going to get coffee in the kitchen in the other room.
hmm. Yeah, I've worked a little bit from the coffee shop, but I usually have to take my earplugs. Um, that then I can kind of, if I can get into kind of the zone and sort of drown it, like get into that sort of hyper focus space, but I have to pick my tasks carefully. It has to be something I'm like really wanting to get done. The other thing for me is moving to a different space is less visual clutter. So like when I travel for work or something, working from a hotel room always seemed to be part of it's the novelty, but also I don't have to worry about, oh, I should get the dishes done or I should pick this thing up or whatever it is. I'm not in my own space. So I have less distractions or less reasons to go, oh, I should go finish this other thing first. Um, and same even within my house, like going outside and sitting on our back porch, there's not, it's it's much more tidy and easier to just go and be, and I just take what I need with me and not a bunch of extra stuff. Whereas if I'm sitting in my office, all my extra stuff is there. So for me, sometimes moving to a different space is helpful, but then there's other times, like even the coffee shop, it's like the internet is slow or I don't have what I need or whatever creature comfort or the chair's not comfortable or lots of reasons that I'm like, but that's one that I can go, well, this isn't working and just bail and go back to where I want to be. If I'm traveling, it's like, well, I guess I'm just going to be unproductive if I can't find a spot where I'm actually going to get work done.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's interesting because for years I've made a point to try and have a bunch of my stuff online so that in theory I could do remote work. And there are a lot of times that that is really useful. I'm not currently super stressed about if I have all the things I need to go to bed. I am more concerned, do I have the list and will I remember the chords? But most of the files live either on my laptop or in the cloud. So as of right now, just a lot of my baseline setup does mean that I am able to be mobile. I had the really odd realization the other day that, well, and I've had it before, the phones now are powerful enough that I could basically run an entire coaching business with software as a service and my phone. I
Mhm.
don't really need anything else.
A lot of my stuff is digital, in terms of like notes and all of that, but I do have a lot of thoughts scribbled down on paper that it's like, oh, did I remember that one notebook, like whichever notebook I'm currently writing thoughts in, which I've tried to switch a lot of things I've switched over to Notion. And so then they are just digital anyway. But I'm actually looking at my laptop bag since I'm traveling right now. It's like, well, even to do this, so I'm traveling this week. And before I left, I said, well, we can try to record the podcast while I'm traveling. So I made sure to bring my mic and my camera and, found a good space with decent light and whatnot. Um, but then it's like, oh, hey, I need to remember those things. So for the most part, not too bad. Moving around the house, I think this was an idea I came up with working with you as my coach. I have an IKEA basket. It's like a little picnic basket sized basket. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's just a little metal basket. It's big enough to fit my laptop and notebook and stuff in, but then I can put everything in it and carry my stuff wherever I need to go. So if I'm going out on the porch, I can put everything in it and take everything out on the porch, charger and all, in one go, and not have to be going in and out like, oh, I forgot this, or I don't have enough hands to carry that. Same with like going up and down the stairs and trying to carry other stuff. Um, so for around the house, I've made it to where I can just kind of take everything that I need. I haven't traveled as much in the last couple years, but when I used to travel all the time for work, it was like I had um, kind of my own little routine set up of things that I knew I wanted or needed when I was traveling. Um, and I would just have it kind of ready to go. But pretty much everything I need to do my work is on my computer and I can get to it all on my phone. It's just for me, it's a matter of the creature comfort or being able to think. I think you and I have talked about it before. I have to get everything out and I feel like I can't fit it on a screen. So then I end up like spreading things out. So traveling this week, I have my Samsung tablet and my computer, and then I have my phone so that if I need, a separate screen for my notes or whatever, I can have a separate screen. And I blocked my calendar for traveling. Today's Monday, so I blocked my calendar for today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Just so I didn't have to, I can enjoy the actual trip. So it was planned to just be a vacation. So this is really the only work that I'm doing unless I get, unless my marketing person says, hey, I need information or whatever. But a lot of times when we travel, my husband and I plan on working, and it just makes for extra things. We both have like a laptop bag with a tablet and a computer, a laptop in it, and all the chargers included with it. So it just makes
Yeah.
it
So
like,
what
oh,
I'm
don't
hearing,
forget. It's like pack all the clothes bags, and then it's like, oh yeah, I gotta pack my work bag. And that could be anything from like just the laptop to, whichever book I'm reading for research or, whatever I'm doing at the moment. And then for me, a lot of times when I travel, I'll take like a crochet project or something. I always have these wishful things that I'm going to do something productive in the car. Usually I can crochet. This time I tried to work in the car. So that's an adventure. I have worked and I have taken corporate like listen to conference calls in the car um, as the passenger before. So my husband always drives. This time I tried to listen to some of my recorded coaching calls for my coursework to evaluate myself on stuff for my coursework. And my children did not want me to do that.
it sounds
So
like
even though
one
I
of
had
the things,
headphones in and everything, it
yeah,
was like I could not get
no
uninterrupted
focus for
time to
you.
listen.
Yeah. So it sounds like one of the things that really does help you as you're moving into different spaces is really having kind of like that mobile workstation, kind of that basket,
Mhm.
that set of necessities that can go with you wherever you are, whether that's to your various locations around the house
Mhm.
or, in the bag to various work and non-work trips.
Yeah, and we've talked about like
Prepared.
what we each want for our workspaces, like our ideal workspaces. And for me, it's like it needs to be light and bright, and there can be background noise, but not like distracting. For me, visual distractions are way more of an issue than like background noise because I can just put earplugs in.
It's funny, mine is
So
almost inverse. Mine is far more auditory, sometimes visual as well, but really auditory is what I've got very little ability to filter out.
yeah, I prefer like, yeah, I need space to spread out or like a clean table, like a empty table to work on kind of thing, or I'll sit on the floor and spread out. But yeah, so I think that's kind of, it's not even just traveling, it's just working from different spaces in general. Um, Coffee
Well, and I
shops around the
think
house.
that one of the original pieces on this one had been if we're in the same exact space all the time too, especially when we're learning, our brain also uses space and context to help learn and remember information. So I think part of the original with this was that going different locations can actually have benefit as well because A, there's novelty, which a lot of our brains crave, but B,
Mhm.
our brain indexes time and space based on physical environment as well. And when we're in the same space day after day, month after month, it all kind of mushes together in a way that gets much harder to distinguish and recall.
Yeah, especially for learning new things and information that we'll have to recall later. Yeah.
Whether for me that's, various client calls and who's dealing with what issue. Not that I can't make notes and do make some, but I'm not usually reviewing notes in the middle of a call with somebody. I may have looked at it beforehand, but
hmm
that ability over time to distinguish and keep all the different trajectories straight kind of becomes less distinct.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, we're getting close to the end of our time. Is there anything else on the topic of working from different spaces that you can think of?
Sometimes it's worth the effort to get there and sometimes it's not. But
hmm
on that, a lot of it for me depends on energy, and I think that this upcoming trip will be good for me and nice to take a little bit of a lighter week. But that does it for me. How about you?
Well, I think you hit the kind of pattern is that I have routines. So there are spaces that, like if I'm working on the plane, I have a handful of things that I know that I can do on the plane or in a, you know, passenger in the car or um, coffee shop or whatever. So for me, the different spaces are, my brain has them kind of tied to tasks that I might be able to actually do in those spaces, but I might not be able to do everything that I want to do as easily. Just requires more energy. So
Sounds like the whole getting things done method from the older version is like, oh, when you're by the phone, you make the phone calls. When you're,
yes.
it's
Yes, when
built.
I was on the airplane, I used to clear out my inbox, sit there and file stuff in different folders because I was captive audience.
Yeah.
So,
But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time is the current usefulness perhaps of getting things done
mhm.
method, whole book and whole organizing methodology in and of itself. But on that note, I think letting you get back with your being in a different space for a different purpose sounds like an excellent plan.
I'll go enjoy the palm trees for another couple days and then dive back into. It's actually hotter at my house than it is at the beach, but hey.
Sounds
So
good.
yeah, I think that's it. This is the Control Alt Think podcast, Conversations with Neurodivergent Minds. I'm Megan with Focus Like a Mother,
And I'm Amy with Creative Catapult Coaching.
and we'll see everybody next time.